The attack against XRP is nowhere near over. In fact, the XRP price, which has been set by the Federal Reserve at over $9,761, is being purposefully repressed by multiple massive institutions. And multiple articles have actually confirmed this. The data reveals XRP has been subject to market manipulation by institutions. And while we have been made to believe that the attack against XRP has concluded along with the Ripple lawsuit, the fact is that institutions are still attacking XRP to try and build a competitive system that will try and outpace XRP and the XRP ledger. And this has been confirmed by multiple massive bankers, global bankers, that have talked about this situation and confirmed that companies including Swift have actually sued Ripple in order to buy time to develop their own XRP knockoff. But this will all change in a matter of mere weeks, especially after the US Federal Reserve has announced that they've set the price of XRP at over $9,761 in XRP and confirmed that the massive crypto reserve that's going to be valued at over $40 billion that the US Treasury is going to hold is going to consist 60% of it of XRP. Numerous other banks have also confirmed that they plan to utilize XRP and purchase a massive treasury of XRP. For example, JP Morgan have announced that JP Morgan Chase, the financial institution, now has approved the use of XRP for all payment transactions. Similarly, BlackRock has hinted at a massive BlackRock ETF coming soon and hinted also that BlackRock plans to purchase a massive amount of XRP to integrate within their financial and investment network. And the craziest one out of them all is Wells Fargo, which launched an XRP-powered cross-border payment service in over 22 countries, went ahead and approved all payments in XRP to be accepted for their credit cards and loans, and then predicted a whopping $500 price per XRP within the next 2 to 7 months. And so while the attacks by the global bankers and financial institutions to try and attack XRP and the XRP ledger, behind the scenes, most of these guys are accumulating XRP at the restricted, manipulated price to get it as cheap as possible before they plan to release it, and then XRP soar it to the set price of XRP, which is between $9,000 to $10,000. In fact, multiple management investment firms like Vail Capital, Jimmy Valley, even Black Swan Capitalists have all affirmed that they believe the true price of XRP is sitting at between $10,000 and $35,000 at global scale. But it's very important that before we move any further, you listen to this clip.
And there was another frivolous lawsuit of Ripple Labs by the U.S. government. David, just to slow them down.
They're just kicking the can down the road. They're just slowing the pace.
Because the banksters are not ready.
And I'm going
to make a bold comment, and it's just in my own vernacular. The banksters sued XRP and Ripple Labs in order to buy time, not so much to hold them back as to, well, it's two motives. One, to hold back the development of the Ripple Labs, but it didn't work because they're still working. And the other motive is to buy time in order for the banksters to develop something in a similar manner with the intellectual property so that they can match Ripple and say, we've got our own Ripple, we don't need your Ripple, but they failed. And now they're saying, we need your Ripple, we're going to make a deal with you, we're going to have a timetable, we're going to have a schedule, it's going to be 18 to 24 months, we've got a span of time, and it is our accord. It's proof that the banksters failed in developing a similar system to XRP, and the same thing happened with Reggie Middleton. They failed in developing the building blocks for the digital financial structures that include banks and bond markets and stock market. It's the whole world.
And so this is what we're talking about. You guys heard it yourself. Basically, the financial institutions tried to attack XRP and the XRP ledger, failed miserably, and now what they're doing is they've decided to, rather than fight with them, to try to accumulate as much XRP as possible so that once they release the price and the price gets officially set, because obviously when you have massive demand, trillions of dollars being facilitated, and you don't have enough supply, the price will have to soar. And so they're accumulating as much as they can now so that once the price soars and they release it, XRP gets set at 9,000. Who made the money? Well, it's the institutions. And as we talk about XRP and XRP price being set at $10,000 or somewhere close like $9,700, it is very important to understand that we've actually partnered with Uphold to give every single person watching in today's video up to $100 worth of free XRP. So if you want to get yourself some free XRP, the whole process takes less than 5 minutes. All you have to do is like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, sign up on Uphold using my link in the description and do a transaction. Once you've done that, boom, you're going to get yourself up to $100 where you can then accumulate and buy XRP with. And so again, let's get right into the video. Now we talk about XRP's price being set at $9,761, but really nobody emphasizes the real details. But we are going to do that right now, because if you take a look at this, research has proven that there's going to be a massive injection of wealth that actually ends up going directly into the XRP ledger. And one institution doing that is actually RealFi, which is said to inject a whopping $654.39 trillion industry directly into the XRP ledger via their Real token. Now this is especially important when you understand the Real token is built on the XRP ledger and is set to actually skyrocket. I mean, the amount of money that the Real token could make is insane, specifically when you understand that it's solving a multi-trillion-dollar problem, is one of the very few projects that has a very low supply. We're talking a max supply of 1 billion, phase 1 supply was 22 million. I mean, this thing could absolutely skyrocket. And the fact that it's built on the XRP ledger just makes it much better. Now, I've talked about this project before, but I'm extremely bullish on the Real token, because I truly believe that if you're talking about a project that is solving, again, a multi-trillion-dollar problem that is actually innovating, it has to be the Real token. And it kind of reminds me of Bitcoin back in the day when Bitcoin was sitting at $1 and it skyrocketed to $120,000, solving a multi-trillion-dollar problem. And really, adoption is now beginning to unfold. Like the Real token just a couple days ago got listed on a massive centralized exchange. We're talking about MEX, meaning now it's official that the adoption is beginning to happen. I mean, it was a lot more complicated before. The way you had to buy Real token on a decentralized exchange. Now you can actually get it directly on MEX, which is a massive centralized exchange. In fact, it's up already 7%. I mean, the Real token went from 1/100 of a penny to over 2.5 cents in a matter of mere months. I mean, it's a very early project, but imagine hundreds of thousands of percentages increase for a project like Real token. It's already happened. And now we're about to see a massive breakout, one substantially higher than the one we are looking at right now. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of more percentages increased at the very minimum. And this is, again, because as more and more people see the Real token, they decide to jump on board. And it's not really about the individuals. Rather, it's about institutions that actually plan to utilize and use the Real token within their infrastructure. That's what's making it rise. In fact, the Real token, prior to this, nobody even knew what it was, yet it was transacting every single day. Because, again, institutions are using the Real token. In fact, you can already buy real estate using the Real token by an institution known as payrealfi.com. You can check them out. RealFi actually allows you to buy real estate directly using the Real token via the XRP ledger. And it's so much to the point that multiple expert analysts literally believe that Real token is going to skyrocket from 2 cents to $65,000. Like, that's freaking insane. And while it sounds unreal, but the reality is if you do some math here, 1% of the $650 trillion market, if it turns into Real token, because of its very low supply, it could literally skyrocket to over $65,000. Now, what's even crazier is the fact that because Real token has a very low supply and because it's very early, it doesn't even need 1% of $650,000 to enter it for it to skyrocket. I mean, take a look at this. If like $10,000, somebody puts a $10,000 buy order right now into Real token, it could literally skyrocket, hitting potentially tens of dollars. And then imagine now at scale, imagine $100,000 in daily transaction volume could literally potentially take the Real token to in the hundreds of dollars. Like, this is insane, but this is the scale that we're talking about. This is why everybody's hyped, and this is why we're talking about getting generational wealth. Well, right now, you can possibly do that. You can make generational wealth by putting a tiny bit of money into different crypto projects, and if the project goes up, you make generational wealth. Now, of course, I'm not financial advisor, it's not financial advice, so he's doing research, and I want to emphasize that clearly, because what I'm doing here is I'm telling you guys to do research, because again, people made millions off of Bitcoin, people made millions off of Solana, people made millions off of Ethereum, and this is the chance to get in on a golden opportunity. And while I firmly believe that we're going to do a very good bull run in the next couple of months, I think right after that bull run's over, we're going to hit a 4-year bear market. That means for 4 years, nobody's going to be making a dime, and so the time here is to capitalize while you can during the bull market by finding projects that are going to create generational wealth. And the way you guys can do this is actually by going ahead and looking into projects like the Real token that are facilitating real money, solving a multi-trillion-dollar problem, and that are heading and they have customers that are institutional. And again, you can clearly see that now adoption is clear. Now adoption is easy. You can literally get Real token on MEX without having to launch a crypto wallet. I mean, this is what we are talking about, real life transactions. Now, people don't know about the Real token yet, and not many people know it's listed on MEX, and so you need to get in before the mass scale adoption, because once people figure out that there's Real token on MEX solving a multi-trillion-dollar problem is actually innovative, and it's facilitating real-world asset transactions, this is going to absolutely soar. And again, I'm not financial advisor, it's not financial advice, I was doing research. But obviously, I'm very bullish, and I got myself a juicy bag because you never know where this is going to take you, specifically when you have analysts literally saying that Real token could go from 2 cents to over $65,000. So I'll be leaving all the information down below in the description. I'll be leaving all the links. Their Twitter is available right now at RealFi Team, so you can definitely check them out. And I'm going to go ahead and conclude the video here. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share this video. I'll see you guys next time, and peace.